Okay, so Ricky Gervais, famous comedian, The Office and all that, has got a range of vodka called Dutch Barn. He uses the proceeds to fund animal welfare campaigns, particularly donkeys. So he's looking after donkeys with the money he makes from this vodka range. He's a good guy when it comes to animal welfare. I know this. We're both patrons of a dog charity called All Dogs Matter. Up in North London, so but he does a lot more than I do, trust me. So he does this. He uses his fame and his fortune, or not, to raise money for the very worthy cause of animal welfare. He's been trying to get posters onto the tube system, the London tube system. Transport for London keep rejecting them. I mean, he wanted one, for example, that said, you know, have a drink now. What was it? You know, have a drink now, because what one was meant for the tube station is just, as he said, it was me having a drink, and it just said, one day you'll be underground for good. That was it. That was banned. Anyway, look, he posted a video expressing his fury. Have a look.
Right. I am sick and tired of the powers that be banning my billboards and adverts for Dutch Barn. Sometimes there's just nothing wrong with them, right? One that was meant for the tube station just had me having a drink, and it just said, one day you'll be underground for good. That was it. They went, no, can't have that, because it might make people think, oh, because life's short, we should drink to excess. Who's thinking that? Oh my God. Cowardly. Do you think it's my attitude? Oh, but you can't win, because, right, you're not allowed to say alcohol's good for you, or it does this, or it makes you feel confident, or it makes you feel attractive, which is fine.
Well, he's very angry, and this is a syndrome that carries on. He's now come up with some sort of spoof ones. One is him. He's sort of mocked up a tube station with a big poster of him with his vodka saying, visit London. Don't forget your stab vests, things like that, in order to taunt Transport for London for their prudishness. Well, look, let's talk to historian and cultural commentator Rafe Heydel-Mankoo about all this. Thanks for joining us, Rafe.
Always a pleasure, Kevin.
Well, look, you know, he's talking. What we're talking about here is this increasing prudishness, this ultra sensitivity that seems to surround that which we may advertise, particularly on the tube. I mean, last year there was a poster for a West End play called Tony and Tina's Wedding. That was on at the Haymarket Theatre, big theatre. And there's this couple with a wedding cake in between them. That was the poster, and that was banned because wedding cakes are bad for you. They're full of sugar. And I mean, seriously. So what do you make of this ultra sensitivity that seems to surround advertising? Why can't Ricky Gervais put a poster on the tube station saying, you know, have a drink, cheers, have a drink, soon you might be underground forever. You know, that, you know, what's wrong with that? What's going on here? Why are we so sensitive about this?
Yeah, and there was another ad actually at the same time as the wedding cake one with the comedian Ed Gamble, who had a comedy tour called Hot Diggity Dog, and so understandably he had a hot dog in his poster. TFL made him change that to a cucumber. It made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Look, I would say, look, thank heavens for people like Ricky Gervais, you know, who are willing to sort of point out and call out this, as you say, this is a stifling, oppressive bureaucracy of, you know, apparatchiks who are so steeped in wokery and not wanting to cause offence that they're stamping out, you know, the fun, the creativity, all the stuff that we want associated with the very best of British humour. And what, you know, Ricky Gervais is doing is just in keeping with ads in the past. And gosh, do you remember, Britain used to be the world's best country for producing funny commercials. In the 1970s and 80s and 90s, you had world award-winning commercials. You know, remember the Cinzano ads with Joan Collins and so forth? But you know, there were so many ads that wouldn't be made today. I remember in the late 90s, you had, I think, for a peanut company, you had Noddy Holder from Slade, and the posters all said, "Nibble Nobby's nuts." I really don't think that would be made today.
There was I've got one here. There was back in 2019 a food delivery company submitted a poster, but it was banned because some of the food they delivered was bacon, butter and jam, and it had pictures of bacon, butter and jam, and this was banned because bacon, butter and jam are arguably not very good for you. So what is the deal here? If you want to have a poster with any food on at all, it's got to be what, you know, cucumbers and celery, or else nothing else. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, it's the nanny state. I mean, you know, what's wrong with people actually being... You know, you can watch television and you'll still get commercials for fast food companies and so forth. They're treating us as if we're children, as if we're incapable of making decisions for ourselves. You know, he has said that he thinks this TFL company were saying, oh, well, if you're encouraging the benefits of alcohol, we're all going to suddenly become alcoholic. I think one of the ads was, have a drink even if you're an alcoholic.
No, I'll tell you what. One of his, it's a sort of area of confusion which ones he actually submitted and which ones he's come up with subsequent to this dispute. But one of them was drink Dutch Balm vodka. It's your tube driver's favourite morning tipple. But you know, we're laughing at that, and we laughed about the nibble Nobby's nuts. You know, what is wrong with this? Why have we become so prudish about all of this? I mean, we've become a more boring, puritanical nation, haven't we?
It's so fundamentally anti-British. You know, British humour has always been dark, slightly perverse. You just look at things like the League of Gentlemen, you remember.
Yeah.
I remember, not even that long ago, I think it was around 15 years ago, there was a gambling company that had an ad featuring a football team called the Blind Wanderers. And it was literally a group of blind football players.
Don't put your money on this lot.
And one of them kicked a catch rather than a football. And so you had the RSPCA and all the blind people protesting over all of that. We've got to get a sense of proportion here. There's things that are funny, they're amusing. It's part of the British character to make fun of ourselves. The self-deprecating humour is also part of British comedy. It's one of the great things that people around the world have always admired about us. And it seems as if whether it's comedy or free speech or freedom or whatever it is, we seem to be doing away with everything that once made us proud to be British. All the things you would say, well, this is part of the British character, we're just gradually eroding them all.
Bring back the Carry On films, I say. What do you reckon, Rafe?
Oh, Mrs.
You know what the Carry On humour is all based around misconstruing the word "it." You know. Well, we're just going to have it. Ooh, but all of that joke, it's the kiss me quick, you know, cheeky promenade humour that used to predominate in this country, that actually the Carry On films captured to perfection. Now we've come a million miles since then, and it probably is why on television there is no, basically there is no decent comedy, nothing to actually make you laugh.
Well, it's funny because I did a documentary on the Carry On films, actually. They're one of my great passions in life. The Carry On films.
Which is your favourite?
And Pink Panther was either Carry On Camping or Carry On Up the Khyber.
I'm a Carry On cabbie man myself, but
you're an old black and white fan.
I love Carry On. That's the original, I think. But anyway, sorry, we digress. You were saying
Carry On Sergeant was the original. But anyway.
Okay. I stand corrected.
But this is it. The very essence of British comedy was always slightly saucy, slightly bawdy. You can trace a long history from the Carry-Ons to the Donald McGill postcards, but even back to Shakespearean time. There's part of British culture to have rude, naughty bawdiness, and we've lost sight of all of that. But there's another thing here, and it's the hypocrisy of Transport for London, because also, not alone with banning food items that are unhealthy, they've also banned any depiction of women in a state of undress, for example. So they've taken down ads where women have been featured in bikinis or bathing suits. But as my good friend Peter Lloyd has pointed out on social media, There are lots of ads on TFL for a very famous central London male stripping show, which show men completely topless in sort of various sexual poses. That seems perfectly fine. And so there's this complete hypocrisy here between they decide, well, this is what the woke culture will accept, this is what they won't. And there's no rhyme or reason behind anything.
The favourite thing anybody has said to me for the past week was you, when we were talking about discussing drag queens, and you said that it's kind of sexist. Why aren't there drag kings? I want to know. I think we should do something about that and find ourselves some drag kings. By the way, Rafe, really good to talk to you. See you very soon. That's Rafe Heydel-Mankoo. What's going on here? Seriously, this guy, Ricky Gervais, good guy, trying to raise money for animals, particularly donkeys, donkey sanctuaries. Donkeys have such a hard life around the world by selling this vodka, and he can't get any of his posters up on TFL, you know, because they're a bit near the knuckle. They encourage drinking. You know, of course they do. It's ridiculous. Let me know what